Welcome to another episode of Beyond Risk and Back. Hey, we're going to change things up today. I do not have a guest. I have done over 300 shows with a guest, and very rarely have I actually just sat back and taken time to teach you guys what I know about parenting and about parenting styles and special tactics, tools, tricks, and techniques that I have developed and been teaching parents, teachers, and clinicians for over 20 years now. And if you are part of our membership program on Coffee, and the link is down below, you might already be used to just me doing my rant conversations about parenting and different tactics. And I will tell you, on the Coffee channel, I am going through every single topic that I have taught in my parenting masterclass that won a Telly Award. I want everybody to have this information. So head on over to the Ko-fi channel to get your private Brab sessions just between you and me about the specific issues that your children are dealing with. But in these conversations, what I want to do now and what I'm going to continue to do, and I'm still bringing on guests. Don't you worry your pretty little heads. I'm still going to be bringing on guests, but I want to teach you a concept that I have been developing and teaching, as I said, for over 20 years. Now, my book, which if you've been listening to my last episodes, my book is out, The Four Prime Archetypes, Why We Do What We Do. It's available on Amazon. You can read about how this information began and how the story started and all the research I've done on archetypal psychology and personality typing. But when I was running the treatment center, I took this concept and I applied it specifically to parents. There are four kinds of parents. Now, here's what I promise about this talk. We're going to keep them fun. We're going to keep them short. We're going to confront some behaviors as parents that we do because of our archetypal stereotype. And it might piss you off at sometimes, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Because every archetype, every style of parenting has a good side and a bad side. And I promise you, through these talks, through the archetypal parenting talks, we're not only going to reveal how you parent, but we're going to talk about the weaknesses and strengths of your parenting, the weaknesses and strengths of your co-parenting partners, and how to develop the strengths in all four of them. We're also going to talk about the kids who are these four different kinds of personalities and what happens when we share the personality with our children or our children have a very different personality. So welcome to the Beyond Risk and Back Archetypes Parenting Talks. This is something that I love talking about so much. It is something that I have taught, like I said, for a long, long time. I have taught this to parents, teachers, clinicians. I have trained sales teams. I have trained treatment centers, my own included. I have trained marketing divisions. I have trained HR teams to use this as company culture. And I have gone into corporations and I have taught this concept so that they can begin to understand who they hire, why they end up hiring those type of people, and how to fire in a much more loving, harmonious way so that they can create the business they know they want to create. We can do this same work with families. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me on these rant talks. I'm very excited about them. As always, you can pick up the book, The Four Prime Archetypes, Why We Do What We Do. That's on Amazon. The link is down below. Join me for my coffee sessions. But for now, I'm going to give you the basic overview of the four kinds of parents. And there are four. There are warriors, there are wizards, there are jesters, and there are bards. This is an oversimplification, and we are going to be discussing the purity of these archetypal types, these archetypes, these stereotypical archetypes. Now, what is an archetype? An archetype is a symbol that we all agree on, even if we've never met. What does a warrior have in their right hand? Now, most likely you pictured a sword or a spear. What color is a wizard's robe? What does a jester's hat or shoes look like? And some of you may be asking, what is a bard? I'll talk about that. But as I have done my work in understanding human psychology, understanding personalities, and trying to answer a base question that I carried throughout my entire childhood, being a nerd with Dungeons and Dragons and science fiction and playing those types of games, and still to this day, comic books are a staple of my life. But I love to understand people's character. I love to know, if you've listened to any of my 300 episodes, I love to know why people do the thing they do, even in extreme circumstances, suicide, self-harm. Why do parents leave their kids? Why is there abuse? Why is there self-abuse? Why is there drug abuse? Why do people do what they do? And in answering these questions, seeing all the different types of behaviors that are out there, I believe these behaviors can be separated and quantified in 4 personalities: warriors, wizards, jesters, and bards. So let's begin to discover yours. I want you to picture a quadrant because I'm going to compare the 4 very quickly with 1 and 2 word concepts. And I'll go through all 4, and then we will come back around through all 4 describing what I mean. So here's an example. Here's how the warrior's brain works. It's a chaos brain. The bard's is complex. The wizard's is complicated, and the jester is simple. So now I'm going to go through these 4 concepts and talk about what the warrior's strengths, what the bard's weaknesses, what the wizard's weaknesses, what the jester's strengths are. So let's talk about the warrior brain and chaos. The warrior personality is essentially born and designed to understand and be able to cope with chaos. Now, let's be clear. It doesn't mean they always handle it well, but they do handle it. Warriors will handle something. They won't always handle things in the right order because warriors are action oriented. So we've got the chaos and we've got action. So in the midst of chaos, or whatever is perceived as chaos, the warrior personality will take action first. Well, the bard has a complex brain because the bard, and let's be clear, the bards are the singer, songwriter, dancers, actors, poets, painters. These are the artistic, expressive, communication, connection, creativity people in the world. Where the warriors are the doers, they're the athletes, they're the cops and the firefighters, they're the emergency room nurses, and they are the teachers. They are the entrepreneurs and business people who are the first ones out of bed and the last ones back to bed because they spend the whole time heading towards their mission, vision, passion, purpose, whether that's working as a soldier for some company or government. They take action. So they don't always think through the action before they take it. The warrior is a fire, aim, fire, aim, fire concept of thinking. Try something. Did it work? If not, try again. Did it work? If not, try again. Did that one work? Great. But there's not a stop and think. That's not the warrior archetype. That's the wizard archetype, which we'll get to in a minute. The warrior brain can be in the midst of chaos, a classroom full of screaming children, an emergency room where the doors burst open and 3 ambulances worth of car crash victims come in and everything explodes in a moment and you have to take care of anything. The warrior has the ability, the warrior personality has the ability to qualify and quantify each moment and take action on each moment, to triage and move. The chaos is where the warrior feels at home. Now, this doesn't mean the warrior always does a good job in the midst of chaos, because the fire, aim, philosophy usually has seen them miss the mark a couple times before they finally hit the bullseye. The warriors are the doers. These are the people who take action in life first. They get things done. They accomplish things. The reason why they do it, and the reason why they accomplish things, and you heard me mention this just a minute ago, is because warriors have a mission, vision, passion, purpose. They have a reason. And it's a reason based in belief, not in thought and not in feeling, but a belief. Warriors have very strong belief systems. Maybe it's in God or some form of spirituality. Maybe it's in a company. Maybe it's in a philosophy or concept. Maybe it's in a political. Maybe it's in a football team. But they have a belief system that informs their value system. They have a belief system that creates a set of rules, morals, and dogma that makes them act in a certain way. Even if in the moment, the morals and dogma really don't fit the situation. So warriors can be bulldozers. Yeah, they will accomplish the scraping of the earth better than any of the other better than any of the other three archetypes, but they tend to scrape it all. The good and the bad. The stuff that they want and the stuff they wanted to keep. And then the stuff that they don't want. You see, warriors take action. So warrior parents tend to act. Give me your phone. You're grounded. Like immediately the consequence comes flying out. Warrior hasn't thought about it. They haven't taken regard for the situation or tried to figure out which would be the best consequence that fits the most natural state of affairs and blah, blah, blah. The warrior just knee jerks, quick draws, throws, fires. And then they have to apologize later. Now, that's the thing, is that warriors are actually pretty good at apologizing. They will apologize. We'll see in some of the archetypes, apologies don't happen. The warrior parent tends to be bossy, tends to be arrogant, tends to own the my way or the highway. But the warrior parent is also very, very good at keeping their family safe and feels extremely violated if safety is compromised. The warrior family has a high set of values, and their belief system and their value system tends to create boundaries for their family, for others. And that's not always other people's choice, but it does set an example of, you have to have rules. You have to have a way of doing this. And if you don't do this, they throw a flag. You get a red card. You get in trouble. There's a law. The warriors are willing to follow the rules. The warriors are willing to follow a vow that they make. Now, we're going to be talking a lot about warriors, wizards, jesters, and bards individually in up and coming podcasts. Today is the brief overview on all four of them. So let's move on to the bard. The bard are the artistic parents, the feeling parents, the emotional parents, the emotionally intelligent parents. The bards are performers. The bards are storytellers. The bards are teachers and preachers. The bards are weavers of connection, communication, and creativity. Things that have high value to the bard is being close to your children, being connected, if you're a bard parent and you've got a kid who's a mama's boy or a daddy's girl or something like that, you're okay with that, because there is nothing more important to you than the connection to that other person. As a bard parent, you're very good at community. You're very good at feeling what the kid is going through and trying to make decisions that keeps everybody in an emotional win-win situation. Bard parents give a lot of themselves to their children. They are very driven by positive emotions, positive feedback, and negative emotions and negative feedback. Bards take things personally. Bards are the feelers. If the warriors are the doers, bards are the feelers. And when we said the warriors have the chaos brain, the bards have the complexity brain, because emotions are complex. And when one emotional experience is resolved, that creates happiness, which is another emotional experience. So the entire relationship with a bard parent is an extremely emotional one. Boundaries don't really exist for bards, because you have to have a boundaryless experience to feel empathy and sympathy and to become a part of your child's experience. When your child, if you're a bard parent and your child comes back from school and they're just torn up about something, you're torn up. Like the boundary comes falling, crashing to the ground, and you feel what the child feels. You are empathizing with the child, and you are hugging, and you are talking, and it's a long, drawn out, hour-long talk, and there's songs and laughter and tears. And I'm not even talking about the kid. I'm talking about the parent. And the kid, perhaps, if they're a bard too, does indulge in the experience. And I am going to say indulge, because when we read books, when we watch movies, when we listen to music, when we walk through museums to look at paintings, when we go to an opera or a ballet or a hip hop dance and a heavy metal show, we are there for an emotional experience. And that is the job of the bards, to create the emotional experience that connects, communicates, and creates. The bards are the communicators. And where the warrior was fire, aim, the bard is, okay, ready? All right, this is going to be awesome. Okay, you guys watch this. Okay, no, I'm going to totally fire. Hang on. Whew, okay, I'm so nervous. All right, here we go. Gonna fire. Are you ready? No, watch. No, pick up the phone. Okay, film me. I'm going to put this on TikTok. Okay, come on. All right, you ready? Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm nervous. I've not done this. Don't laugh at me. I've not done this before. Okay, ready? Okay, here we go. Just getting ready to fire is a connection, communication, and creative experience. It creates emotions. It creates stress. We're going to talk about, in all four of them, when I finish going through the wizard and the jester, we're going to talk about the blessing curse. Because what remains as a blessing for all of them, the best thing about all four of these archetypes, is also the worst thing. So let's move on to the wizard. The wizard parent. Wizards are our thinkers. That's the symbol of the pointy hat. The wizards are the smart parents. Look, the wizards are the smartest among us, period. That wizard personality. If the warriors are the doers, the action-oriented, task-oriented, get one done first of our society, and the bards are the feelers, the connectors, the performers of our society, the wizards are the thinkers. They're the engineers and the scientists and the doctors and the lawyers. They're the big brains that, we're going to say it, they're the smartest among us. We all love to tell the story. Well, when NASA put a man on the moon, the computers took up an entire room. And now the same computing power is in our hands in a cell phone. Well, that's because of wizards. Because wizards are here to evolve us. They're here to innovate people, places, and things. They build and they invent and they research and they study and they research and they study and they research and they study and they remember. And they're so smart. They're so dang smart. They are the experts and the masters. And you'll see, if you read the book, The Four Prime Archetypes, a wizard can be a master at anything. They can be a master at a sport. They can be a master at being an actor or a musician. They can master anything, but it becomes an immersive, focal experience. They are focused on one thing until they master it. And they are brilliant. And they struggle socially because their brain is complicated. There is a problem for every solution. They say no first because they can't picture how it's going to work. And we'll talk about their blessing curse in a minute, but they are so smart. Well, and let's be clear, the wizard parent thinks in pictures, and they see the perfect picture. And what's in front of them happening in their own family may not match that picture. And that frustrates the hell out of them. That makes them want to change something. That sets up expectations for people to do better, people to think about what's going on, and for people to see what's not working and to make the changes that is going to make it work. When we talk about the fire aim of the warrior and the ready of the bard, the wizard is aim, 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 and they can get stuck in analysis to paralysis. The wizard parent can get stuck in analysis to paralysis. They will spend so much time thinking about the right way to do something that they will never do something. Now that's on the tails of them maybe not knowing what to do. And when a wizard is dealing with something, an unruly teenager, tweenager, little child, and they are struggling to picture what the right thing to do is, they really struggle because they're not built for misunderstanding. They're built for understanding. They're built for innovating, and they're built for mastery. So why isn't everybody else? That doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. Those are the types of things you would hear a wizard person say to their children, to their spouse. Oh, you're being ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. And wizards argue about everything because they have a high value on being right. Now, there's a reason why they have a high value on being right. Warriors do too, by the way. Warriors and wizards, being right is an important thing. But when a warrior is wrong, they will apologize. A wizard will argue to the death. They will argue because they can't be wrong. Why? Well, number one, they're too smart. Number two, let's go over that list of the things they do for a living again. They're scientists, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're engineers, they're pharmacists. They build space shuttles. They manufacture cars and airplanes. They create medicines and distribute those medicines. And if they're wrong, if the doctor misdiagnoses, if the lawyer misinterprets the law, other people suffer. So there is kind of a reason why they can get stuck in the analysis to paralysis. Very simply, they're looking at every side of the issue. That takes a while. Number two, it's rarely a win-win-win-win. If you look at every side, someone's going to lose, and it sure as hell ain't going to be the wizard themselves. The wizard's brain is complicated. Life is a mathematical equation that must be solved. Love is a mathematical equation that can be solved. By God, they'll solve it. You see, one of the reasons why the wizards can master anything is because they stick with it until they figure it out. That's really necessary in society. And it's good parenting. As long as there's some balance in there. Because the warrior is good parenting too. The bard is good parenting. The jester. Let's talk about our jester parents for a second. The jester personality always stands out a little bit. You see, the warriors are the doers. The bards are the feelers. Wizards are the thinkers. The jesters, they're the beers. The jester personality, someone who is a jester, this is the spiritual one, right? And I don't mean religious. And warriors are religious. Wizards can be religious. Jesters are spiritual. They want to experience things. So they tend to participate in activities that afford them an experience that is alive. Like they want to feel the energy of that precipice of life and death, where they are most awake and present because the experience creates joy. And that might be the experience of being a parent. That might be the experience of being a river raft guide or a snowboard instructor. It might be the experience of communing with nature and living in a van down by the river. It might be the experience of riding your motorcycle across South and Central America when you're supposed to be home being a parent and working a 9-to-5 job. But see, wizards do the supposed to. Warriors do the supposed to. Jesters do the supposed to. I'm sorry. Bards do the supposed to. Jesters do not live life under supposed to. They live life. And when life is not fun or exciting or adventurous or energetic to live, they leave and they go find energy, experience, life force. The jester has a very simple brain. Remember, the warriors are chaos. The bards are complexity. The wizards are complicated. The jesters are simple. Is this fun? If it's not, don't do it. Well, you can't just have fun your whole life. Why not? That's the jester's response. Why not? Who said? Well, because life isn't always fun. I think what I'm hearing you say is your life isn't always fun. Well, you can't just go wherever you want and like live off of other people in the land. Why not? Who said? You said? You believe that? Are you imposing your beliefs upon me? Here's the most frustrating thing about jesters, people, is that we all want to be one. And only 1/4 of our culture is a jester primarily. The jesters in the ready, aim, fire. I'll go through it again. Warriors are fire, aim, fire, aim, fire. Bards are ready, 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 ready. Jesters are aim, 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 aim. Wizards are aim, 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 aim. Jesters are fire, 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 fire. Just go out and live. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simply sacred. Keep it sweet and soulful. The jester archetype, a lot of times, is the absent parent who's just off doing whatever they want. Sometimes they want to be a parent. Sometimes they don't. And so that's exactly what they do. Tends to frustrate the other 3 parenting personalities quite a bit, and for good reason. But they will not play by your rules or society's rules for that matter. Because they're not here to be society's version of anything. They're here to experience life on life's terms and their terms. Those are the 4 prime archetypes: warriors, bards, wizards, and jesters. I'm going to end this call, this basic overview conversation, as you're starting to think about yourself, as you're starting to think about your parenting partners. We'll talk about kids. And like I said, we will explore more of each of these archetypes individually. I'll do a episode just about warrior parents and just about bard parents and wizard parents and jester parents. We will learn who we are, and we will learn how to strengthen what we need, and we will learn how to let go of what we need to let go of. But for today's basic overview, I want to leave you with one final thought, and that's the blessing gift of all 4 archetypal parents. The blessing gift of the warrior is called the vow. This is one thing that is the best thing about a warrior parent. It's also the worst thing. When a warrior parent makes a vow, when they make a promise, they keep it. they keep it at all costs. Even if it ends up costing them their family, they keep it. Because for a warrior parent, the belief is bigger than the family. The belief is bigger than their work. The belief is bigger than life itself. It is the higher power of their life. And it might be a deity. It might be a religious faith. It might be a set of rules that they decided, but it also might be the rule that said, I will never, ever let my children down. They will always be able to rely on me. I will never abuse my children. I will always work hard so that they never want for anything. Whatever the warrior vow is, like a knight, they live and die by the promise. And if they do break it, it's one of the greatest soul-crushing personal growth and development experiences that the warrior archetype, the warrior parent, can go through. And they will move heaven and earth to right the wrongs that they might have caused on their own family, or they will die of shame and just embrace one of the other archetypes. That vow is the reason why you, if you're a warrior, or your parenting partner is a warrior, it's why they do what they do, is because they believe in their heart that it's the right thing to do. The Bard blessing curse is called the gift. The warriors is the vow. The Bard's is the gift. A bard's job is to give the people what they want. Remember that song by the Kinks? Give the people what they want. When a bard gets up on stage, they put their heart and soul, they put all of their emotions and intellect into this communication, into the painting, the dance, into the presentation, the talk, the seminar. They give it all to you. They give themselves. They act as a conduit for what you want. You walk into that theater, you walk into that museum expecting that this bard, this artist, singer, songwriter, dancer, poet, actor gives you what you want. I want to feel. I want to feel something. I want to feel happy. I want to feel sad. I want to feel moved. I want to feel. And the bard's job is to sense how you feel and to give it to you. And as a parent, it is such a blessing that you can experience your children as deeply as you do. Because let me be clear, the other three archetypes do not experience their children like that. That's unique to you. We all experience our children. Bard experiences their children. The curse is you keep giving your gift. And like any person who is up on stage or continues to paint for other people or continues to dance for other people, ultimately loses sight of who they are and what they want and what they need. It's all makeup and costume and script for them because you love them. But at some point, as the bard, after you've been giving your gift to everybody in the family, you're going to say, what about me? Then there's the wizard. The wizard's blessing and curse is called the flaw. The wizard's brain is so smart. It's so designed for intellect and understanding that the first thing it does when it looks at something, a person, place, or thing, is finds the flaw. A wizard brain is naturally attracted to the problem. They're looking for a solution. Don't get me wrong. Their job is to innovate. Their job is to elevate human consciousness. But that's only because they see human consciousness as flawed the way it is. Now, any wizard parent who's listening is going, well, isn't it? When I look at my Ford F-150, my 2016 Ford F-150, fire engine red, chrome wheel package. I love my truck. A wizard looks at it and goes, that's the 2016 model, huh? And their brain has already, because it knows, it's this smart, it knows what the 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 models have that mine doesn't. Because everything can be upgraded, everything can be improved, including this child's behavior, including that teacher's ability to teach, and including the person they see in the mirror. When you are constantly focused on what's not working, when that's the first thing you see, life gets really frustrating. Their design is to solve it. Now, again, if you walk into a doctor's office, you want them to see what's wrong. When you take your car to a mechanic, you want them to see what's wrong. When a wizard is building your house, designing your house, you want them to do it right. So this person needs to be able to see what is happening that is wrong and fix it. And that's the wizard's personality, the flaw. And that's hard on everybody else in the family. The fact that you see what's wrong first. Now, the jester. The jester's blessing curse is timing. You have to be a skilled jester to master timing, to create or be in the moment at the right moment, because there is only this moment. And as a jester, you have an instinct for this moment. When people are always trying to pull you out of this moment. And every one of us wants to be in the moment because this is where life actually exists. You can't mow the lawn yesterday and you can't do the dishes tomorrow. Not right now, you can't. Not right now. You can only do now. And that's how the jester's brain works. What's now? How do I feel now? Do I like this now? No, I'm out. I'm gone. And that may be the worst timing. But when a jester perfects timing, the way they interact with nature, with other humans, when their timing is perfect, people get connected to now through the jester. They get connected to themselves in this moment through the jester's spontaneity. The snowboard trip, the whitewater raft, the climbing adventure, the backpacking or hiking adventure. These things awaken our jester because you've got to pay attention right here, right now. But sometimes, right now, you got to pay the bills. That's not fun, says the jester, and they leave. Think The Grasshopper and the Ant's Fable by Aesop. Right? It's not fun to work all summer. It sucks a little worse to freeze to death in winter. But there is only this moment, right? Why think about the winter when the sun is so beautiful and we could sing? Well, because some of us have to. Do we? Don't we? I mean, we're told we're supposed to. See, this is the conversation that the jester has. I know you think you've got to prepare for winter, but I just want to sing right now and be in this moment right now. Boy, when the timing's right, we all need that, love that, and have those moments. But when the timing is wrong, as a parent, feels like an abandonment. It feels like you're leaving to go do something fun when this household really needs you. So those are the basics of the 4 prime parent personalities. I want you to look for the book, please, because I have been working and writing on this book for 25 years. I wrote it with a co-author, Martina Kodrun, and she was an incredible journalist who sat with me day by day, asking me tough questions, finally pulled this whole book out. It's called The 4 Prime Archetypes, Why We Do What We Do. It's available on Amazon. And we're going to have fun with this because the truth is we are one of those personalities primarily. We have the ability to be a perfect balance of all 4. And that's an advanced parenting style that I call the King Queen. Now we're going to go through the Wizard's Playbook, the Warriors playbook, the Jester's playbook, and the Bard's playbook. We're also going to go through the Lizard's playbook. And the Lizard is the worst kind of parent because it's the archetype of survival parenting, which we've discussed on Beyond Risk and Back for years now. So please join me again for another archetypal parenting podcast here on Beyond Risk and Back. And if you're interested in every single tool, tactic, trick, and technique that I have taught parents to deal with crisis in their families, join our coffee, help support the show. And we really appreciate your support. And those sessions that will be available only to you for your membership, I promise you, we are going through everything that I know works if you work it and your family's worth it. So until the next show, parents, take care of yourselves first, your adult relationships second, and your children third. In that way, we're going to do our best work with our children. I will see you next week on Beyond Risk and Back.